Howdy folks, and welcome back to the channel for another 1/6 scale figure preview. And I hope you're all feeling particularly nostalgic out there today, because we've got something from way back in the 70s, something a little bit retro. And this one's coming from a company called Power Studios, which is a relatively new one on me. I've got to admit, I haven't heard of them until I saw these figures go up on social media. But before we dive in and take a look at what Power Studios are offering us and the 70s Wonder Woman, I'd like to send a massive thank you, as always, to everybody who's supported the channel. You've been amazing. The support the channel's received is phenomenal, and thank you all so much. And please drop a like on this preview, as it helps other people find Go Figure. And if you haven't already, be sure to mash that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing any of the 1/6 scale previews, reviews, showcases, tours, and all that other stuff that we've got coming up. So, Power Studios, as I mentioned before, new one on me, this one. I believe they've only done one figure before this. I think it was their take on Captain America. It's a third-party manufacturer. And as I say, I hadn't heard of them until this point. I am assuming this is their second figure, because the Captain America figure was P01 and this has got P02 all over it. So yeah, I am assuming this is only their second foray into the 1/6 scale world. And it's probably worth mentioning as well at this point, before we take a quick look at the pictures, this is sort of this is a predictable release, if that makes sense. Because those of you who know Jazz Inc. Dioramas and Juiced over there, they are moving into 1/6 scale figures, Jazz Inc., and they're going to be dropping their Catwoman on us in the not too distant future. And I think everybody in the 1/6 scale world is waiting with bated breath for that. And Juiced has made no, if it's pronounced that way by the way, has made no bones that a passion project of his is the 70s Wonder Woman, the Lynda Carter Wonder Woman, which they will be doing. He's indicated that is going to be going ahead over at Jazz Inc. And of course, in time-honored tradition, as soon as a large company, you know, be it Jazz Inc. or Hot Toys or InArt or whoever, say that they're going to be releasing a figure from a specific IP, then we see third parties jump in normally. I mean, you can see that in, say, the Death Stranding 2 figure from Hot Toys. Present Toys leapt straight in with their version from the first game, and I think that's what we're seeing here. It's an attempt to head the bandwagon off at the pass, so to speak. But let's not prejudge it. Let's take a look at what Power Studios are offering us, and let's zip on to the first picture. And the first picture is, I've got to admit, the photography is pretty good for a third party here, and we're seeing the entire figure stood up there, and straight away, I think the thing that struck me immediately with this figure were the proportions. Now, it's a seamless body that Power Studios are using here, and to capture Lynda Carter. And straight away, there was a little bit of hang on a second here. I'm not 100% certain. I think they've used a bog standard, off the shelf TB Lee body here. It won't be a custom build, I don't think. And straight away for me, those proportions are a little bit off in the thigh area there. Perhaps not so much in the chest area where you might expect, but in the thigh area most certainly. And those arms look a little bit on the thin side to me, as do those thighs. So yeah, probably an off the peg TB Lee body, this one. But yeah, let's take a close-up look at the details. So yeah, it's Lynda Carter, who played played Wonder Woman from 75 to 79, and a former Miss USA in 72, and went on to be a runner-up in the Miss World in the same year as well, and has done numerous TV shows and movies, but is best known for her portrayal of Wonder Woman. So yeah, boots look very, very good. Proportions, as I say, questionable at this point in time, but we'll wait and see. Boots look very nice with that sort of red and white effect going on there. Now I'm going to lean in here. I'm not sure what we're looking at there, whether those are material. They don't look like sculpted plastic to me. That looks like it's some form of material, because you can see the stitch work in there, but it could be just very well sculpted plastic. The skin tone is right, but to me the body is slightly off there. The all-in-one outfit, the all-important all-in-one outfit, you've got those shorts there, with the white stars on them, obviously, and then that whole bodice section above it. Now, apparently this is all in one piece, according to the blurb that Power Studios dropped with these pictures. You've got that red bodice with the gold detailing going on there, and that looks pretty screen accurate to me. I'm assuming that's going to be material, and you've got the lasso of truth around her waist there. The wrist bracelets look right there. I'm assuming they're going to be sculpted plastic with that sort of red design in the center. She's got this cape. This cape comes as standard with the figure. Looks like it's made out of some kind of nylon material to me. Looks screen accurate, as does that outfit and boots. And you've got the red lining on the inside, and on the outside the blue and white with the multicolored stars on there, obviously to indicate the stars and stripes. And it looks like it ties around the neck area. And we're getting our first look at this head sculpt as well. Now, this is, I suspect this is going to be one of those that looks really, really good from a distance, but perhaps doesn't stand up too well to scrutiny. But we'll see when we get some more close-up shots. But overall, yeah, the head sculpt from this distance at least is looking pretty promising. It's a rooted hair sculpt, this one, which surprised me, especially for a third-party company and their second figure. But the hair looks the right color, it looks the right style, it's falling correctly. That gold sort of headband works as well with that red star in the center. Yeah, and our first glimpse of the head sculpt. So let's zip on to the next one. Oh yeah, worth mentioning here, it says PS002 at the bottom there, which is what I mentioned before there. This is looking like it's only their second figure, and you know, if nothing, I take my hat off to Power Studios for going all in on the second figure and doing a rooted hair Wonder Woman. Yeah, brave if nothing else. But on to the next one. Now we get a little bit closer here and we can see the details a little bit better. And yeah, I'm definitely thinking material. Apparently this is an all-in-one. This sort of bodysuit is an all-in-one. It looks material to me, especially when it's creasing in the areas that it is. As I say, off the peg Fison body, if I'm guessing correctly, and they've gone for the larger chested version, but we won't go into Lynda Carter's chest too much in this particular preview. The arms, yeah, they look. I always remember them being muscular, a little bit more muscular than that, and. You know, I was a young man back in the 70s watching this, and I think I was watching it through, not only were they rose-coloured glasses, I think they were steamed-up glasses as well. But I always remember having a little bit more definition and a little bit more heft to her in the upper body there, in the arms, but most certainly those thighs aren't right. They are way too thin, as far as I can tell. But yeah, we're getting closer to that head sculpt, and that hair, as I say, looks promising, looks very good. So on to the next one. Wonder Woman is covering her modesty here. She's got herself wrapped in the flag, so, or the cape rather. But that cape looks very good, and as I say, I'm assuming that's a nylon material there. Now, you probably noticed, the eagle-eyed amongst you, forgive the pun, have noticed that the eyes are off to one side here. And this does come with an independent eyeball moving system, which once again surprised me. For a second figure, they're going rooted hair and moving eyes. So, as I say, 10 out of 10 for bravery. I think with these eyes off to the right here, I think this is far more convincing, this head sculpt, but we will get closer to it. There is something there that doesn't look quite right to me, but we will cover that. And once again, that headband's looking very good. On to this one now. Once again, the proportions are definitely off for me. Once again, in those upper arms and most certainly in those thighs. I'm liking the pose they've gone for here with a hand on the hip. Apparently there are a total of 11 hands with this figure, which is great to see. So you're not going to be short of hands with this figure. But if it is a stock TB League body, then keeping it in a pose like this, as good as TB League bodies are, that they will rip over time. So yeah, keeping it in a dynamic pose like with the hand on the hip is not going to be something that's on menu for a long period of time anyway. But once again, overall, pretty good first impressions. Onto this one now. They've been very clever here, I think, with this photograph in the way that they've positioned the legs, because when you have the legs together like that, it does lose some of that that sort of that look of being too thin in the thigh area. I'm not going to bang on too much about Lynda Carter's thighs, or yeah, it'll sound obsessive. Let's move on. That cape looks great. once again. Now that head sculpt, yeah, it looks good. It most certainly is Lynda Carter as far as I can see. Just looks a little bit on the soft side, and perhaps not the best sculpt in the world, but we'll get closer. I'm sure there's a closer shot. I get the feeling here that Power Studios have tried to keep at a distance from this head sculpt. It looks very good there with her looking off into sort of into the middle distance there. And once again, you've got those legs crossed, which takes a lot of impact away from those legs. But we are seeing this base for the first time. And this base looks really, really good. Now, I'm going to assume that this thing is sculpted plastic. Now, I'm not seeing a crotch grabber in there or a waist grabber. Now, they may very well have just photoshopped that out or whatever. Is this a magnetic base? It's thick enough to hold magnets, as you can see there. It would be great to see. If they're going to go all in with the hair, the eyes, and a magnetic base, that would be phenomenal. But I'm liking the look of this base already. Looks like it's got the Wonder Woman symbol on the top. You've got it on the front as well. There's something going on in the back here. Now, whether this is designed to support the figure, who knows? I'm sure we will see in later shots. Let's zip on to the next one. I am getting vibes of caustic plastic with this base. It would be great to see magnets, but yeah, once again, we're seeing that cape, really vibrant colors. They really pop. Great to see that. That bodice looks excellent, and yeah, overall proportionally perhaps not brilliant, but that head sculpt is looking okay. We're getting closer. We're actually getting closer now. I'm gonna have to lean in for this one and take a closer look. And there have been a number of other companies have tackled Lynda Carter as Wonder Woman. I think this could possibly be the first time we've seen her in 6 scale. I'm chancing my arm. If I'm getting that wrong, please drop a comment in the comment section below. I know companies like Iron Studios tweet ahead. Who else? Prime One Studios. Yeah, they did I think it was a quarter scale. It's either a third or a quarter scale statue. But if my memory serves me right, I don't think anyone's ever tackled it in 6 scale. Head sculpt. Now, yes, it's Lynda Carter. Yes, it's Wonder Woman. Is it perfect? No. Number one, it looks too soft to me. In actual fact, what I will do is I will put up a photograph in the top left-hand corner here of Lynda Carter, so you can see what I mean here. It's on its way. It's a good effort, but yeah, it's lacking a little bit. Although they have caught that sort of that slightly smaller mouth and the pursed lips quite well, and the eyes are looking not too bad in the spacing, the size, and the colour. But there's just something missing there for me. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out in hand. On to the next one. The classic wrists crossed with the gauntlets there, the bracelets, and they're looking very good. The head sculpt in this shot, I think, looks a lot better. I don't know whether it's the lighting, it's the angle. Still a little on the soft side, but I think for a third party, yeah, from this particular shot, if I was just going on this shot alone, I would say they've done a cracking job. And as I say, that hair and the colour in there looks like they put product in there. It's falling really well, so yeah, impressed with the hair as well. On to the next. Now this is where we're seeing this base. Now, close up on this base, I'm about to lean in here because this base is looking absolutely phenomenal. I am loving the sort of Art Deco, Art Nouveau. It's more Art Deco feel to it, with this sort of swooping gold section at the back here with reds in it, and then you've got this this nameplate that seems to curve around her here. Now, is that used for support? Is there a crotch grabber or waist grabber built in there? Who knows? I think it looks absolutely phenomenal. The base on its own is looking superb as far as I can tell. Let's zip on to the next one. Another one on that. And this is where the proportions are off a little bit to me. Once again, I will put pictures up throughout this video so you can compare. To me, that neck is a little bit too long. Those shoulders aren't broad enough. She was a little bit heavier than this. Although the chest is the right size and the waist is the right size, the arms are too thin here, way too thin. Yeah, it doesn't help that head sculpt having this body out of proportion. There's a dissonance there between that head sculpt and that body, which doesn't sit right with me. But on to the next. Classic pose with sort of hands close to her hair and her elbows bent. You do lose it here. You lose that lack of weight in the upper body, and I think this is down to the pose more than anything. because you're seeing sort of more of the underneath of the arms, so you don't quite see that. So that jarringness, is there such a word? That jarring that was present in the last photo that we looked at between the head and the body isn't quite as obvious there, but I think that is more down to that pose than anything else. But yeah, I'm going to be interested to see what this head sculpt's like in hand, and the final all shot. Once again, I think this is probably the closest we're going to get to this head sculpt, and yeah, the eyes are the right colour, the lips are the right shape. There's something missing there though. There's something, I don't know whether it's because of the lack of fine detail, maybe it's the skin tones and textures aren't right. From certain angles there's a doll-like quality here which I'm not altogether happy with. However, that hair once again looks phenomenal in close-up, as does the headband and that sort of all-in-one bodice section. And here we get that sort of that clash again for me. With these head sculpts. The picture on the left here, I think looks a lot more like Lynda Carter than the one on the right. But that could just be me and my aging man's memory. But once again, I'll put a photo up there. So we get another shot of the cloak there, the lasso of truth, that phenomenal base. It might be worth the price of entry alone just to see that base. It looks amazing. So there you have it, folks. That is Power Studios' take on Lynda Carter as Wonder Woman. What are your thoughts on this piece? Is it something that's on your radar? Is it something you're thinking of picking up? Are you gonna hold back and wait for the Jazz Ink version? No doubt that will be a lot more expensive, but a lot more detailed. If you're working to a budget, this may be the better option. What are your thoughts on this piece? Are you a fan of the 70s Wonder Woman TV show? Are you a fan of Lynda Carter? Drop a comment in the comment section below. Nothing is off menu, and I'd be fascinated to hear your take on this piece. So what have we got coming up on the channel? Well, there's a shed load more previews as always, so stay tuned for more previews. But we've also got a raft of new reviews, figures coming in, 1/6 scale figures, stuff from Hot Toys, Present Toys, In Art, Susu Toys, Caustic Plastic, Exo 6, Iconic Studios, the list goes on. And as I mentioned at the top there, we've got more retro reviews, we've got more Grail or Fails, where we take a look at an old piece and see if it still holds up, and lots of other stuff as well. So as I mentioned, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing any of the good stuff that's coming up on the channel. And I suppose all that remains for me to say is from myself and from Lynda Carter, aka Wonder Woman, a massive thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and until next time on the channel, happy collecting.